social service programs for vulnerable fellow citizens have been altogether halted. For years now, residents have watched their quality of life erode, and nothing has been done about it. If they think they can get away with treating black folk like second-class citizens, they better think again.
You better think about what you're trying to do to me.
This town hall meeting is a reckoning, a public witness, an opportunity for impacted community members to share their experiences for the public record as we prepare to hold those responsible accountable for this enduring nightmare. So please join us Thursday, July 30th, 6:30 p.m. at Bethesda Temple Church, 4909 Crenshaw Boulevard. This town hall meeting is free and open to the public, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not to unsettle you. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DePrima go way back. Tavis Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the move. So we tune in to First Things First with the Queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DePrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. This show is called First Things First. And what's my first thing? What's my favorite word? God. My very first thing is prayer, giving thanks, giving praises, asking for blessings from the Most High, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to do. We got space to do it in. What a blessing that is, right? When people are getting shadow banned and outright banned and shut down and censored and all of the things, we have KBLA, and I'm grateful for it every single day. So this is how we do things on a Tuesday. I call it Talking Point Tuesday because we try to debunk all the BS, the stuff that comes out of our mouths and the mouths of others. We do that naturally. You can do it by calling me at 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580, calling me, calling Miles. You could do that by tapping in on the YouTube chat, which is KBLA 1580 at youtube.com. The conversation in the comment section is always great. I love the way that our chat room convo really adds to the knowledge and information here. And of course, you are always welcome to tap in on social media, just regular style, comment, like, repost, and all that good stuff. We're at KBLA 1580 on every platform. I'm at DePrima Radio, DIPRIMA. And you know, because of Sahara Ali, that Mercury is in retrograde right now, so we're having lots of throwbacks and reminiscence and recurrences and all that stuff. So, yeah, so take it slow and enjoy the ride. So, yeah, 800-920-1580 if you want to say a thing about a thing. I would love to hear from you. But this is how we do it. On a Talking Point Tuesday, Hour 1, it's mostly left coast. All are welcome. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive. Today in Hour 3, we will be talking natural hair. Felicia Leatherwood, one of the most sought after natural hair experts in the world, will be joining me. Of course, I got my hair blown out, but shoot, the one day I needed it natural. But she'll be here and we'll get some great information from her. Hour 2, we'll be joined by Dr. Melina Abdullah of Black Lives Matter Grassroots. We are celebrating their anniversary. Black Lives Matter Grassroots, which is the real Black Lives Matter, turned 13 yesterday. And so we'll get a check-in on that milestone. And also some of these cases, there are so many cases moving, not just in LA, but across the country. As you know, we are doing our best to track them. There are calls to action. There are updates of black men, children, and women being slaughtered, being unalived under varying problematic circumstances. So we'll take a look at some of those. And right now, it's wide open. We got time this morning. Me, you, Miles, microphone, telephone, whatever you got, carrier pigeon, send it on over. Look, I put up a post on Instagram, which is, I'm at Deprima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio. And I put up a post about, my Netflix documentary. Everyone's doing that trend. There's some pretty funny ones out there. But mine, I was looking for, doing a documentary on Where is Theo? And a lot of people weighed in, and I realized it wasn't I was being funny, because where is he? And for those of you who are not familiar, he was a very popular radio personality here in Los Angeles in the 1990s. His voice is heard on the beginning of Waiting to Exhale. It's that deep, bassy, sexy voice that took LA by storm in afternoon drives. And that was a radio station that I was on. It was actually my first radio job when I made the transition from television to radio, when I made the move from the Bay to LA. I was hired over there. They knew me from my TV work in the Bay Area from KMEL. So it was a bunch of us from the Bay over there. My friend Mariama, who I always talk about because she was the music director and later assistant program director there. Myself, the poetess. It was a bunch of us. Lisa Canning, if y'all remember her. Of course, Mariama was behind the scenes, but there was a bunch of us. Claudia Davis, a lot of black women, like moving things in the industry. But there were some, Theo was there, and a lot of people were shocked after they fell in love with Theo to find out he was Japanese American. Because he sounds, if you are listening to black music and you hear his voice, you would assume he was black just by the way he sounds. A lot of people were shocked about that. That station, we had the whole No Color Lines slogan, which I was tasked with making into more than a slogan, making it into a real community initiative. And that's when I used to do the show Street Science, but I also ran their community department. And we did a lot of things that I haven't seen anyone do before or since. Because Keith Knafley, who was the program director there, who knew me from the Bay, he knew that I wasn't just a radio person, but I was also an activist. So he pulled me in to put some real teeth behind the No Color Lines motto, if you will. And so we did. We opened up a whole department. We had a staff, and we did things like free summer arts programs, and we donated to a lot of community-based organizations the money from Summer Jam, which that money used to go to these big Red Cross, these huge sort of corporate nonprofits. And under my leadership, we moved it to the smaller ones, because I said, you give $10,000 to make a wish, it doesn't mean anything. If you give $10,000 to a storefront black-led organization or Latino-led organization in the community, it means the world. So we did a lot of things that I don't think At least I wasn't aware they had been done. And so I say all that to say that it was an era. It wasn't just a person. That person, Theo, embodied that era for a lot of people because they were crushing on him. He was also a producer. He hung around with artists like Snoop and Quick and stuff like that. And so it really touched a nerve, and a lot of people were talking, and I realized it's not just one person or one slogan. It was an era, and it's an LA thing, and I am so honored to still be on the mic after all these years, but really there was a community that was checking in. That is checking in, a community. And I hope that community, those of you who have tapped in over here, maybe you found out about it because so many of my former colleagues were on the thread tapping in, PJ Butta and Nautica and, Nautica De La Cruz and Shirley Strawberry and just Kevin James, Slow Jam and James, all these people that were part of that era are weighing in and talking over there, Mariama. On my Instagram at Deprima Radio. I hope some of you have tapped in over here that you realize you're welcome, and there's a continuity here in the fact that okay, I'm up. My phone is making sure I'm at work. In that, even though Tavis Smiley wasn't part of that, he was still on. He was on LA radio back then. Miles Lowe was on. No, you weren't alive yet. But later, when you were alive, you weren't in Vegas, after you were born. So I'm just saying there's a continuity, and people have gone different places. A lot of people have retired. My understanding is that Theo is now working in Silicon Valley in tech and has gotten out of radio altogether. Just like my friend Mariama, who's now a realtor, and she says radios too. What were her exact words? Shady. But of course she's talking about the music side of it, not the talk side of it. But people have scattered, they've done their thing, but there is a through line, there is continuity. Some of us have been blessed, like Tavis, like myself, to keep working and keep talking to you and being part of this community. But I just say all that to say that there is a community, there is a culture here, and there is a long legacy of activism here. Yes, Black Lives Matter Grassroots turned 13 on yesterday, but long before that, because part of what the whole No Color Lines portfolio for me, because Keith was kind enough to hand me that responsibility and say, how do we define this in a way that's real, community-based, and helpful rather than just something cute we say. And part of that was the Gang Peace initiative, right, which was very much coming out of the streets at that point. A lot of the artists, people like Cam with his peace treaty, and we're all in the same gang. Remember that? My Conception and all the all-stars that were on that track. They weren't just records. It was a movement. Neighborhoods making treaties or agreements, working together on things. And Bo Taylor, who was the founder of Unity One, which was one of the early gang intervention prevention organizations, connected with me, thanks to this guy named Raycito, who was my assistant at the time, introduced me to all these people who were in that movement, and I became part of it. And that was the legacy of No Color Lines too. How do we be part of stopping the killing? From that, after I get cut from the Steve Harvey team for being too political, years later, I was hired by Karen Bass. She was running for assembly then, to launch the Summer of Success, which was in the jungles, aka Baldwin Village. And that's what Jasmine was talking about yesterday, where we were providing services from 8 p.m. to really that when we did Summer of Success, it was like 1 a.m., 8 p.m. to 1 a.m., Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the times when people were actually getting murdered and there were problems. and it was a huge success. Homicides went down to nothing. That was something that was spearheaded by Karen Bass and then council member Martin Ludlow, along with Dr. Robert Ross of the California Foundation, who funded that effort. All of that is part of an era, but it's a legacy and a culture of activism that you can take it back to the Watts Uprising, right? Of, I think, 1965 that happened. Before my time, before Miles' time, probably maybe before your time. And I'm sure it goes back before that, but I'm just saying, as much as we get stereotyped as being all about, beaches and other, and beaches and booties, I'll say it that way, there's a legacy of activism, and that through line is also in our media, in our pop culture, and we're carrying it on over here at KBLA Talk 1580. So welcome. All right, when we fight, we win. That's a thing, and I've got a great example of it I want to share when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
She's sharp. She's fearless.
I don't know what they told you, but if they told you that cutting me off is how I'm going to get clicks, stop it now.
She's that girl, and she's bringing all of that to your radio this summer. Amanda Seales is here.
I am Amanda Seales.
Comedian, artist, actress, activist, truth teller. The woman who never bites her tongue is coming to KBLA Talk 1580. And baby, the conversations are about to be unmatched. Every Friday, she's going to be lit noon to 2 p.m. and back again 4 to 6 p.m. Starting Friday, July 17th, only on KBLA Talk 1580. Amanda Seales, keeping it real, keeping it raw, and keeping it rooted. Politics, pop culture, black excellence, the stuff they don't want us talking about. Amanda's talking about all of it.
You keep interrupting me when I'm talking, and you don't want to hear the point that I'm going to make. And yet you want me to respect your point. And that's not how a debate works.
This is not your average radio show. This is a Seales Summer. Fridays, noon to 2, 4 to 6. Starting Friday, July 17th. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. Don't just listen. Tune in.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-550-9651.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-550-9651. That's 800-550-9651.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Oh no.
Straight the roof down.
I don't know if we have time. Please, God, save us. Save our house. Please, God, please.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we haven't forgotten what happened Tuesday, January 7th, 2025.
The trauma, processing the loss of our home. How do we address the compounding effect of the fire now more than 18 months later? I noticed one of my 3 children engaged in self-harm who hasn't been able to articulate the challenges that they've had since the fire. And 4 out of the 5 folks in our household are in therapy. 1 is not. And the one that's not is the one who I noticed with some marks on their person. This isn't okay. You need to talk to someone.
Black historical memory keeps alive the stories and struggles of everyday people and communities. Black historical memory preserves truths that others attempt to erase, minimize, or distort. Black historical memory prevents history from repeating its worst chapters. At KBLA Talk 1580, we will never forget. Tune into Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr, weekends on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima
Right now, still on the mic. That's amazing, actually. Gosh, it's been, can't even remember. It's been a long time. I'm going to have to start counting. 1, 2, 3. But thank you for welcoming me on. 800-920-1580, the number to call if you want to talk about it. So I am looking at this situation with the flock cameras as a win. And I don't know if you've been tracking it, but it's been tracking you. The LAPD has this system of cameras that is through this company called Flock Safety. And there are cameras that are mounted on poles throughout the city that read your license plate. And then they collect data. There was an inspector general audit that said, hey, LAPD inspector general saying we should slow this down until we have clear privacy and security rules. This is the inspector general. Well, this company, Flock Safety, it's called. Whose safety? That's the question. They have contracts with police departments all over the country. And they said, hey, these are just misconceptions. We already comply with California's safety rules. But protesters have been out in the streets with signs saying, no, we don't want Flock Safety. There's 138 of these cameras throughout LA, and they can track your vehicle. They say they use it for stolen cars or cars that are registered to, quote, known fugitives. But they also are known to have shared their data with the feds, right, and state officials as well, including ICE, and that's why LA City Council member Isabel Jurado tried to get a motion asking the Police Commission Board to stop, to discontinue new deals with this agency, new contracts with this agency, and to stop pilot programs. The Flock Safety says they were in contract talks because their contract with the city was about to expire when the LAPD made an announcement that it is pausing the use of the Flock cameras until they can get more protections of the data, more protections around what information is collected and who owns it. It's interesting, though, because I would say this is a huge win. I mean, Flock has been shut down, paused, whatever. But if you really read the fine print, the LAPD is kind of making it sound like it's just a contract negotiation. Like, oh, we just have to clear up a few points. But I think the public, I know the public because I know, what demonstrations have been going on and what concerns have been going on, is that people do not want to be their cars tracked by Flock. Now, Flock is not the only one. Apparently, there are several other license plate readers. But again, this is Big Brother. This is the surveillance state. This means they are scanning your license plate without your knowledge as you drive around minding your business with no warrant and no probable cause, tracking you. Probable cause meaning what? That you're a person driving in a car in LA. They had, I guess, been in use for almost 3 years. Then the LAPD said the city attorney was making a new contract and trying to make it privacy airtight. But that city attorney, Heidi Feldstein Soto, was voted out. So does that mean she's still drawing it up, or are we pausing to see who the new city attorney will be? And trust and believe, if it ends up being John McKinney, it'll be Flock on steroids. He's running for city attorney. He's in the runoff. Black man, prosecutor out of Nathan Hochman's office. prior to that out of Jackie Lacey's office and a dissenter under the Gascon administration. He's running. Sentinel had a big article. Could be the first black man city attorney. Okay, well, Jackie Lacey was the first black woman, so put that in your pipe and smoke it. Anyway, if it's Marissa Roy, who's coming out of the Attorney General's office, we would see a totally different contract, which I would assume might end Flock, or at least severely curtail it, although I do not know. I haven't spoken to her about this particular issue. But other cities have said no to Flock once they found out. And you would think now we've had, ICE has killed 2 people in the last week. One yesterday in Maine. Who was a 26-year-old man with a Social Security card. In any case, not that they should be killing people just because they don't have Social Security cards, but it makes it even more hard for them to justify. The point is, this is an issue. They do have contracts with 5,000 law enforcement agencies across the country, but people are starting to drop them. Mountain View in Northern California turned off its cameras when they found out they were sharing info with the feds. And there are others around the country that are starting to say no to this technology. We'll keep you posted, but I think it's a great example of when we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominic DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. A deadly shooting at Great Lakes Crossing Mall in Auburn Hills, Michigan has left black 20-year-old Keyshawn Emery from Pontiac dead and a 19-year-old woman injured. Shopper DeMont Clayton was there when it happened.
So I was sitting at the table eating my food, and next thing I heard the boom. I look around, everyone in the mall just scatters out and everything.
Police arrested and later released the 22-year-old suspect from Detroit, calling the incident isolated. Charges are pending. A new federal housing law championed by Senator Raphael Warnock will prohibit large private equity firms from buying additional single-family homes. Supporters say the bipartisan measure will help families compete for homeownership. And 50 Cent is celebrating after his Diddy documentary earned major Emmy recognition. The rapper reacted on Instagram after Sean Combs' The Reckoning received 3 Emmy nominations, including Outstanding Documentary or Nonfiction Series, saying you can't argue with the work. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers have 2 players in the starting lineup in tonight's Major League Baseball All-Star game in Philadelphia. Freddie Freeman is starting at first base for the National League. Andy Pajes is starting in center field. Shohei Ohtani was supposed to be the starting designated hitter, but he has a sore knee. Mookie Betts, the only African-American player on the Dodgers roster, said he will not be joining his teammates at the White House on July 23rd. The Dodgers were invited to the White House by Trump to celebrate their World Series championship last year. Betts said he prefers to spend July 23rd, an off day for the Dodgers, with his wife Brianna and their 3 kids. Brianna gave birth to their 3rd child, a baby girl, in March. When Mookie was with the Boston Red Sox, he skipped the White House visit when the Red Sox won the World Series in 2018. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This November, you'll decide who leads California. So shouldn't you hear directly from the people asking for your vote? Join us for California Voices, a political town hall and ballot forum, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Meet candidates running for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and other major statewide and local offices, including Mayor of Los Angeles, city attorney, and LA County Sheriff. Get clear, nonpartisan breakdowns of the propositions on your November ballot, both sides, no spin. And ask your questions directly, in real conversation, face to face. California Voices is brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, giving you the information you need before you vote. Mark your calendar. Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. California Voices. Follow KBLA 1580 for details and download the KBLA 1580 app. Your vote, your voice. Be there.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So, I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Don't be anxious or confused about AI. Take control of your career when you get the skills to tackle real business problems and design specialized solutions. HR Dive reported that entry-level talent with applied AI credentials can receive up to a 25% salary boost. But where do you find training that you can trust? Future-proof your career and deliver more value with Humans Lead the Way AI. Their hybrid learning courses use practical definitions, real-world examples, and strategic insights to help you and your team understand AI with confidence. No magic, no hacks, no shortcuts. Just practical knowledge that helps you use AI more successfully. Don't wait. AI can never replace people who know how to use it well. Register for courses today at humansleadtheway.com. That's humansleadtheway.com.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah. I'm here. Are you here? Are you with me? Are we locked in? 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. I should give some props to Stop LAPD Spying because they sued the city to try to get those contracts with Flock. And the LAPD did give them some documents, and I think that helped jumpstart this conversation even more than it was. I want to know what are all these other contracts looking like? And, we lost the robot dogs, right? Remember? The Police Foundation went ahead and donated the robot dog to the LAPD, which is a wildly expensive robot that's meant to be able to go in and hound. See what I did there? Hound people on crime scenes, but it's really scary. I mean, the idea of these remote control killers that could be wielded by a police force, which is already among the most deadly in the country consistently is very, very scary to me. In any case, yes, we will keep tracking that. I think it's really important, especially when you look at the bias in AI, and we've seen it with the face recognition technology, where study after study shows it cannot reliably identify black people, brown people. It can identify the people that made the technology, that particular technology. Who made the algorithm? Who made that algorithm, y'all? That's the question. And I think these are things that we can not continue to ignore, because they affect your well-being and your ability to remain among the living. Let's go to Carl calling us from LA. Good morning, Carl.
Hi, Sister Dominique. How you doing?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, look, did you say you had actress in your resume or activist?
Both.
Oh, okay.
I was
You're
a theater.
actress too, huh?
I was a theater arts major. I mean, I've appeared on plenty of shows. I've done 35 plays in my life. I took a long break when I was being a mom. When I first started being a mom, because it was just too overwhelming. But I used to do commercials. I've done, I don't know, The Parkers, She Spies, X-Files, a few shows here and there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay,
more
yeah,
activist. I mean, I've been an active, well, yeah. I'm kind of a Renaissance woman, Carl.
Okay, you're all rounded. I can understand.
I started out
Hey,
in the
look,
theater, though. I love the theater, yes.
Yeah, I love plays and all that type of stuff too. Hey, look, Brother Al Sharpton say he's having a march on Washington on the 28th of August, 2026. Is your company going to be there? He's calling for all African Americans and Black America to turn out on a Saturday. Is your company going to be there?
Well, you know what? I
mean,
can't speak for my
what's gonna
company.
come-
You probably have to call the owner of the company for that. That might be above my pay grade about whether the company is going to turn out. Sharpton does some great work. Am I a follower of him per se? Like, if he says I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there? Not necessarily. I mean, I'm grateful for the work that he does. And I know the National Action Network does have a branch here in the West Coast, but they tend to be more East Coast focused.
What's the outcome on this? What would be the outcome on for all African Americans and Black America?
I know you're not
to turn out?
expecting me to speak for Al Sharpton. I don't know what that brother's up to, but I will certainly find out. Are you going?
No, I won't be there, Dominic. I don't have plane fare. I don't have hotel fare.
I mean, is he doing the Million Man March do-over? I haven't really done a deep dive on it, Carl, but I think I'm always here for us showing up and marching. I just, I think a lot of people don't have plane fare right now. Or gas money. Or you're calling on Black America to march on Washington, so I'm not familiar. I can't say.
Yeah, I was just trying to get a feel to see what was going to come out of it for African Americans and Black America. You see, they trying to take all that land down there in Louisiana. All these power companies. I mean, they swiping land. What's that word they use? Eminent domain. I mean, they even taking property from white folks.
Yeah. So okay, I'm seeing here that he's doing his march is for voting, that he wants people to vote or defend Black people's right to vote. And I have to do more research. To be honest with you, marching on those fascists is probably not going to help our right to vote.
Well, I'm still going to send them. I'm still sending them my mail-in ballot until they tell me I can or whatever. Then,
well,
I believe
the Supreme Court said you can. So, I mean, that's like one of the few wins we've actually gotten.
So what else is there to talk about in voting? I mean, everybody just get out and vote. Continue to mail your ballot in. Continue to show up at the polling places, and there we go.
Yeah, it's the 63rd anniversary of the March on Washington. So
Oh, okay.
That's why he's doing it. And good for him. Will I be there? No. But it's not that I'm boycotting it or anything like that. We didn't have Trump in the White House, when Dr. Martin Luther King decided to call that march. And I'm not saying it's not good. Like, I'm here for the No Kings marches and the Black Lives Matter marches and all the marches except for the fascist ones.
It's probably about 20 churches down here in Los Angeles that'll probably bus up and jump on buses and get down there. I mean, I'm thinking about all the big mega churches here in Inglewood, Los Angeles. They'll probably suit up and jump on a bus, charter some buses, and get down there.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure people will. I mean, Sharpton is, he's still active. He's still got clout. And they're talking about the gutting of the Voting Rights Act, right? Which has got these southern states redrawing their maps to take away the black vote. This is a real concern. But the problem is, with a Trump administration, what is your marching meant to do? Is it meant to show that we know that they're disenfranchising us? Is it meant to activate the Democratic Party? Because that doesn't seem to be working. The thing that's activating the Democratic Party is the Democratic Socialists, if we're being real.
Yeah. Well, more power to Fannie Lou Hamer and Martin Luther King for setting it off. Thank you, Dominique. Enjoy.
All right. Thank you, Carl. I always appreciate your calls and your support. Yeah, I wasn't tracking that, but good for him. I mean, we have to do something to mark the anniversary of the March on Washington. It is true that because of gerrymandering, our vote is being diluted. They're breaking up black districts so that there would be less representation of us. And you see, we talked about this yesterday, how the president is moving by firing the Nonpartisan Election Commission. I guess if there's no one on the commission, that's bipartisan too. It has no Democrats or Republicans. Therefore, it's bipartisan. It's a bipartisan nothing. And clearly trying to take control of the voting machine apparatuses and moving to control election boards and commissions in states across the country. Tried it with the mail-in voting. So there's no doubt that this president and his party, because it's not just him, he could meet his maker tomorrow and they would still be carrying on this agenda without him to the best of their ability. But I'm just wondering how would a march on the Democrats and the Republicans help, other than making the point that we're still here and we demand that our votes not be diluted. Yeah. It seems to me the battle is in the states over these lines. Republicans have made the very smart move of focusing on taking over state legislatures that in most cases control those lines. It seems to me that the battles in cities and counties, like what we're dealing with here in LA, charter reform, Prop 50, which temporarily redrew our lines to try to push back on what the Trump administration is doing and was put before the voters and won. Is it likely that Democrats have the political will to pass some robust voting protections like what we were talking about years ago with the John Lewis Voting Act? No, they don't have the majorities, and I don't think they have the will. They don't have the want to. I just don't. Will Republicans do it? Hell to the no, they're not going to do it. They're the ones trying to make it so there's no black districts left. So I guess I would have to talk to Mr. Sharpton. Maybe I can get him on the show and see what we're thinking is going to come out of this march. And what do I know is Tavis might be a keynote speaker. You know, I don't have his schedule or his agenda handy for me, and I know he's invited just about everywhere. But my question is, how do you make a difference? And I do think, I always think that protesting is good and marching is good, but the question is, what are we protesting for? What are we demanding? And that's the question. What are we demanding? What would be the real outcome that we would desire, and how could it be secured so that a lot of people who don't have gas money or airplane money, which is most people under Trump's economy with tariffs and wars, so that it's something that we can calculate and say, yes, this is going to be impactful. I need to get myself there. I won't rule it out. But as of now, I'll be reporting from over here on the left coast. Carl called me at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I invite you to do the same. I'm Dominique DePrima, and this is KBLA, Black-owned, Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
You deserve a treat. A $10 bill credit treat. If you get an LADWP paper bill but go online to pay it, stop! Break up with your mailbox. It's time to go paperless. With paperless billing, bill reminders come straight to your inbox. You can access 7 years of past bills in your online account, and you don't have to deal with paper clutter piling up. It's a win for you, your time, and the environment. $10 bill credit for new LADWP paperless billing signups. LADWP.com/paperless.
Listen up, KBLA delegation. We have something you need to hear. Right now, you may qualify for low-cost home internet, and we're not talking about a catch. This is real. Many internet service providers offer low-cost internet plans if anyone in your household is enrolled in CalFresh, Medi-Cal, SSI, or is income eligible. There are a lot of families in our community who deserve to be connected. Here's all you do. Call 844-461-7893. That's the Get Connected call center. Real people ready to help you enroll today. Or go online to internetforallnow.org to find a provider near you. You may also qualify for a low-cost computer through Human IT. Connectivity is not a luxury. In 2026, it's a necessity. And you deserve access just like everybody else. Call 844-461-7893. That's 844-461-7893. KBLA's got you. If you missed any of this, you can always go to our website at kbla1580.com. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 in partnership with the California Emerging Technology Fund, CETF. The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-324-3030. That's 800-324-3030. Again, that's 800-324-3030.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Yeah, so we can, look, think globally, act locally. I'm here with you. I'm here for that, and I'm not throwing shade at their march. I just feel that, I need to know the why. What are we doing? What's the outcome? What's the goal here? Where are we going with this? Oh, look, Paul's on the phone. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning,
Mr.
Dominique.
Lee,
How you doing today?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I want to give just a call following up a conversation I heard over the radio with the caller last week when they were speaking to, and this is just something that weighs heavy on me because, and we've discussed this on your show before, is I want us in our community, especially for Black people, to take back our narrative for our community. When I go outside, all I see, I'm not saying everything's perfect, right? But all I see is brothers and sisters loving on each other. I grew up in South Central Los Angeles. I got family from far west all the way to the east side, all the way to the projects. And whenever we come around each other, we have a great time. So when I heard a brother talk about our communities and us shooting and the violence and things of that nature, I then know that where are you getting your information from? And then I started hearing right-wing talking points. And I just wanted to share this with people for those that don't know. And you can look this stuff up yourself. Per the FBI's Crime Data Explorer, white individuals account for the majority of violent crime arrests overall, approximately 58 to 59%. But you wouldn't know that. But did you also know the greatest percentage of people living in poverty in this country are who? White. They make up the greatest population. But if you look at TV, you hear a whole other narrative that isn't reality. They're just using that as a way to have even some of us turn around and use, and I hate to say this way, use mass as tools to talk down to our community when it's not the truth, Dominique.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I remember the caller. I was pushing back. What do you save that for the thousands of right-wing, white-owned talk radio stations all over the country that talk that slop all day? Because we live in these communities and we know what we see. Yeah, there's crime everywhere, but guess what? In LA, it's way down. He was talking about Brooklyn or something and people shooting each other on the subways and all this. Well, yeah, and it's always in service of a conservative agenda that seeks to repress and arrest us. No matter what the statistics say. The statistics may say 59% of these crimes are being committed by white folks, but the people that are going to get the knee on their neck is us.
And that's intentional. And that's just a way, and I hate to say it this way, one way to get some other people to galvanize and because they're pushing what this administration does and what a lot of these far-right, they're not even conservatives, let's call them radicals, right? What they push is they push white fear. They're going to scare these white people into they're taking your country, which means in reality, so when you turn around and try to have a conversation with people, which I don't anymore at this point, and say you're not getting anything out of this. No, for those people, much in the same way why Reconstruction failed, their skin color is their currency. They can lose their home, they can lose all their benefits, and they don't care because to them, it goes back to President Johnson when he talked about it. You can have the poorest white man feeling he's better than the richest colored. you can rob them blind. And we're watching right now an administration that's doing nothing for these people, right? Outside of saying we're going to get rid of those brown and black people.
Yeah.
Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations, everybody. You got the country you wanted.
Yeah, but I mean, you know how many people they'd have to get rid of? It's the symbolism. Oh, we're bringing in the white South Africans and getting rid of the Haitians. But we are almost just a few clicks away from being the majority, and y'all are going to be naked, hungry, and alone if you really get rid of all of us. I'm talking to the people that aren't us, right? I mean, who's going to take care of you? Who's going to take care of your kids? Who's going to drive your buses? Who's going to clean your cities? Who's going to make inventions that make this place a better place? Who's going to create the biggest import that this country has? Export, I mean, which is culture, right? I mean, it's clear they want to re-whiten the country, but it is not possible. I don't know why I'm saying re-whiten. When we got here, it was all indigenous. Yeah, go ahead.
And you're hitting the most important thing. I want people to hear this. Stop with the illegal stuff. Most of those individuals, a majority of these people are indigenous people. They're indigenous. This is stolen land. Like sometimes, you can't use what they do to oppress you on other groups to oppress. The reason they do that and the reason they use their media to push those type of things is to divide everybody because they're not offering anything. The goal is to keep you on your couch and keep you depressed, to not show up to the polls, which in reality is how we ended up this way, and we ended up with this court that is in place at this time. Yeah.
Yep, that's right. But it's not going anywhere. So, I mean, I got to go to news, traffic, and sports, Paul. You know that. But the fact of the matter, and you're welcome to stay with us if you want. The fact of the matter is, like you always say, we got to vote. While we still have it left, we got to vote. All right, news, traffic, and sports, then more. We'll be joined by Dr. Melina Abdullah. The calls, love to have them. Keep coming. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. A deadly shooting at Great Lakes Crossing Mall in Auburn Hills, Michigan has left Black 20-year-old Keyshawn Emery from Pontiac dead and a 19-year-old woman injured. Shopper DeMont Clayton was there when it happened.
So I was sitting at the